Is up, people of YouTube land? So for today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start making a dash insert. So what I did was I took the existing face, traced it out here on this steel. Now what I'm going to do is take this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this edge off, and keeping the tape on the face, obviously I don't want to scratch it any more than it already is. So what I'm going to do is try to use this edge and use that as a stencil for this. Yep, let's get to it. Alright, here we are. We have it cut out. So what I did was I put a little piece of tape on the top, but this line right here is actually where the bottom of the cluster is. And then what I did was I just put this to the edge of the metal, so I know that's straight, traced the inside and scored it. And when I lift this off, carefully without ripping anything, now you'll see where the cluster will sit inside of the actual dash. So all I need is this part and this part. So instead of cutting this whole thing out, all I have to focus on is cutting this out and this. So let's get to it. Alright, now it's cut out. Let's clean her up. So when I cut it, I left way more meat, so to speak, on the bones. So I have something I can play around with, because I could always cut everything else and just leave like this corner drilled out, bend it and make a tab. So for now, I'm just going to clean up all these edges to these little hash marks I made. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, here it is. All I did was just clean up the edges so it wasn't sharp. And now let's mock it up, see where we go from there. Alright, so now that I had it mocked up, so this is going to be the line that follows the top dash cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each one of these little V's out, and when I bend the tabs, hopefully to give this whole panel a little more, how would you say it, make it more rigid, a little more firm, because right now it's just a wobbly piece of metal. So let's get that done. Alright, here we are. We got all the notches cut out of it. Now it's time to take this and start tapping them over. Okay, here I have my handy dandy little railroad rail. It's a great little makeshift anvil. So instead of using this side, which is a bit rounded, I'm going to flip it on its side and use this nice little edge right here. Now that this whole lip is done, sits up against that part pretty damn well. So now what I got to do is I'm going to do the same thing along this line here. Technically, all I have to do is go up to here, and I could cut this off, because where the cluster meets the dash cover, this actually is too thick, and I might actually have to cut the dash cover to fit the cluster a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece off and do a series of, instead of V's, I'm just going to do little notches and bend them all by hand with just like a wrench or pliers. But yeah, let's do that. I feel like this goes without saying, but eye protection, gloves, they're a must. That thing will eat your flesh. Now that I got it bent over, straighten it out with a hammer. This one I couldn't twist because it started twisting the whole thing. You can see the weaker part of the metal, so it's twisting the whole thing. I'll just hit that down with a hammer. But yeah, be right back. Alright. This thing is gonna be strong. See how it fits. I still gotta roll this bead over to look like that. But let's see how it fits. So far so good. Obviously it's hard to keep everything in place, but for the most part that side's good. Now I gotta work on this side. There it is. Alright. There it is. Little lip in there, pretty nice. Obviously there's some gaps, but it's alright. Once you push it down, kind of fills them. I'm happy with it. So now that I got this side done, I'll go ahead and start this side. Now, give me one sec. Now I have a basis on where I can mount this. Might be a little tight, but I think we can get it in there. This one, like I said before, I'm going, the ignition is going to go in here. Now that that's done, I have something to mount this to. Something like that. So, you know, I love when things fall together. I think what I'm going to do is drill that out, move that up, so that way I have somewhere to mount this. And obviously it's pretty close to that, but we'll get to that once I get the actual insert ready to go, like this side. But yeah, let's get to it. Same as before. Cut. And now we bend. Alright. Tabs all bent over. Now we'll do the bottom. Let's do it. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Dash fillers. I could always do, like, I don't know, some switches or light indicators, blinkers, even though that's all in here. Possibilities are endless, obviously, when you're making your own shit. But yeah. And the good thing is, I didn't realize this, but these will actually sit behind there. So what I think I'm gonna do is find a way to actually mount these up behind that to cover all that loose stuff, as you can tell, or not. But yeah. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how this is going to mount in there. It's going to be real tight. Might actually have to trim this little corner up, but let's see if we can get that in there. Alright, so now I have it cut out. It fits. But what I'm going to do is these tabs right here are how this flushes in, and they're super tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just Dremel a little notch to make it a little easier to pop in and out. And then the way this sits in here, this little edge sticks out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Dremel this corner out. So yeah. Alright, there it is. Installed. Ready to go. Now what I need to do next is I need to get some of that Felt Pro, you know, it's just a rubber cork. But I need to fill this gap in between the dash and the switch itself, because it's in there loosely. So all I got to do is make a gasket. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just paint this, and yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I got to work tomorrow. Yeah, so let's see what it looks like all mocked up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a light switch. And again, like I said, this leaves it open if I want to put any more switches or anything like that. Tomorrow after work, I'm going to drill this out for the ignition and get that tunnel installed back in. But yeah, it's time to call it a night, get ready for work tomorrow. But yeah, if you like my content, remember, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas on what I should do next, or any comments, anything like that, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you think I'm an idiot, write it in the comments. That is going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for a video in the next couple days. I think what I'm going to start doing pretty soon is I'm going to try to start running the wire harness through some of the interior, try to get the fire wall cleaned up a little bit, start welding some of that stuff in. The only problem is I'm going to have to order some welding wire online and just have it shipped to me, because Home Depot is like literally right there, but I'm not gonna wait 3 hours just to get a spool of welding wire. They're only letting 6 people in at a time, all that goody stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Peace.